Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is to understand why is the narcissist always sort of conflict based? And there's always sort of a conflict and this tension. That's a great viewer question because oftentimes I feel it's that conflict and that tension that people get aroused on the cycle of the tension and then the release and then the tension again, and become very hooked to a narcissist or a psychopathic type of relationship, namely where there's one of challenges, argumentativeness, conflict orientation, one that is oftentimes typified or marked by disagreeableness, ultimately, lack of cooperation. The narcissist or the psychopath, they are the people who always want to get a leg up. So if you get a leg up, they've got another leg up. They always want to have that underhandedness, even if it means undermining you and where and what is best for you. So as we're describing in a previous video, the narcissist or psychopath, they oftentimes don't really want you, I would say, to be playing with a full deck. They don't want you to be using common sense. They don't want everything mundane like the truth. What could be more exciting than a lie? What could be more exciting and thrilling than trying to outsmart or outwit or overpower others? So this is the game. That's the prize that the narcissist is living for. This is what we play for. When you see all the football players, going out, they're breaking free, they're heading out on the field. This is what we play for. This is what they play for. They love to sort of have that attention, admiration. And if you are not sort of behind them with the peacock fan and, sort of moving and, propelling them forward and stroking their ego, you are a problem. You might then, if you're not going along with their agenda, I mean, think of the 2-year-old who doesn't want to get up off the floor because they can't get a lollipop, so you have to pick them up, so really this is a manipulation tactic that a narcissist or a psychopath will use, so they get others to do a lot of the work, to let things go, to let bygones be bygones, to forgive and forget. However, the undermining oftentimes is very ruinous to others, while the narcissist is not having any such qualms. So it creates a very much of an imbalance, a very much then of a cycle where people get caught up in being afraid, and they don't want to have those people around them to be unhappy. So they then pacify them, try to be there enough and show them enough that you are there and they don't have to be unhappy. They don't have to be releasing all this negativity. So people end up trying to sort of shore up them and stop the bleeding, when in essence it becomes an exercise of futility because you're becoming deprogrammed to what is good for you and what is necessary for you. So you have to do some remedial and say, wow, remedial meaning I need to go back to my square one. And if I am fearful about this, the best thing you can do is face your fears, and know what they are. And sometimes these can be terrifying. So you might not know these for some time. I can't make it. I don't have what I need. I don't have this. I don't have that. So realize that the narcissist can really hammer in a lot of negativity into your subconscious. This is really that limbic brain, that old brain that really, is really where the narcissist, that's kind of the the relationship jugular, if you will. They're going for that reactivity. They are going to prey on your weaknesses, that you will do this. They try to make predictability out of you, hit you where you hurt, where you're vulnerable, where your soft spot is, where you need, so that you are powerless. In other words, you end up taking the blame, apologizing for their abuse. I'm so sorry that you beat me up. I'm sorry you had to do this and then it just becomes ludicrous. If you are so brainwashed and so gaslighted that you are then apologizing to an abuser, that this is a sign that you are still in the deeply traumatizing effects of gaslighting, which means you have been taught or programmed to deny your needs. What is your boundaries, your survival? So we're talking about really what becomes existential. And this is not funny. This is a very serious matter for a lot of people. This becomes, it can, teeter on, being able to live or, being homeless. This has resulted in a lot of people either getting an education or not getting an education, being able to develop professionally or not develop professionally, being able to have a family or not have a family, have successful relationships or not experience successful relationships. So this is a very, very important aspect of the relationship foundation for you to become aware and conscious of, and to become deliberately aware and to learn about, how and what it means, what is happening when someone is undermining you by being combative, by being conflict oriented, by being disagreeable. These are personality traits which can then become really corrosive to you over time, almost like a nail file. They just grind you down until you feel really that you do not matter, that you can't ever change things. And this is really where they want to get you. This is where they've got you. And they oftentimes want to keep you there because they feel that they then have their supply in a row. So, getting all their supply ducks in a row is getting you to make sure that you're doing such and such for them. This is not healthy. This is banking on external motivation, extrinsic motivation, and this is not sustainable in my viewpoint. So you really must look at some of these negative qualities within them and realize you are not the provoker. This is not your problem. You did not create these personality traits in them. I would say most people who have been abused, they feel responsible for the unhappiness of others and will chronically believe that for very many days, weeks, and months on end. So a mood reinforced over time becomes a temperament, and then a temperament reinforced over time becomes a personality. So people feel that they have this empty or dull or boring personality. It's just because you have to switch your focus and have that breakthrough and understand what is internally motivating for you, and develop a little peak about this and be willing to sort of go to work on that. What is intrinsically motivating? What makes you laugh, giggle? What puts a smile on your face? What is healthy for you? Become sensitive and aware of this today. What is really filling of your cup, and what is really depleting of your cup? And where has pessimism, perhaps overridden your optimism? And to what degree can you recalibrate this within yourself and dial up your content, dial up your safety, dial up your wisdom, dial up the answers that you truly are looking for and the solutions. Allow these to come to you today. The more you can get then your subconscious working for you than against you, the better. So realize, I love having my needs. I love satisfying my needs. I love being sensitive to my needs. I know what I need. I know what I need right now, and begin to develop these statements. I know what I need right now, and then develop it with a positive inflection and a positive sort of statement, and be willing to make these assertions for yourself that are developed on boundaries and standards. So raising your standards. In other words, I no longer, a low standard would be, this is all I expect, versus this is what I expect, or this is what I tolerate, and then this is what I tolerate. So you need to raise your standards a little bit, and say, I refuse to be treated like this. This is what self-respect looks like. This is what self-protection looks like. This is what having a healthy sense of self looks like. So reinforce these statements within yourself so you can begin to reprogram and re-identify and develop a warm, nurturing relationship with yourself. Begin to stop being programmed and stop beating yourself up, and stop focusing oftentimes on the cause of the distress and working to alleviate the distress. Because really, kinesthetically, that is where you need to be willing to let go of the hurt, let go of the abuser. People feel so defined by their abuser that their identity is infused or, just sort of fused with this, that they feel that they can't have a distinct sense of self that isn't ladled or saddled by the hurt. So it's just sort of like an alcoholic. They can never envision their future without having an alcohol problem. And so that's all that they'll see, and then they'll behave according to that vision. So you have to have a different vision for your life that does not continue where it has you being abused. It has you being thrown under the bus. It has you being disrespected. Because if you don't reevaluate that, then your future is going to bring a lot more of that to you. So really allow providence and allow your subconscious mind to work for you. Stop resisting a positive sense of self. Oftentimes people put so much energy in resisting, and they're positive because they've been programmed and conditioned to deny their happiness and to deny a healthy sense of self. That this feels very uncomfortable or wrong or guilty, or like a viewer so stated, they feel jaded, and it sustains. And you can look, I think for that comment, it was a recent comment where you become sort of unplugged to your own needs. So you need to plug in again to yourself. Do those workshops, those workbook exercises that we talk about here in the recovery journal, going on the recovery date, doing your astralmations, making time for your emotements. These are all tools that we have developed here on the channel to help to develop, enhance, and solidify that healthy, positive new habit rather than reinforcing a negative emotional habit in your day-to-day. And then life will get a lot easier, and it won't feel so heavy or like such a burden. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and for goodness sake, please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Have a beautiful day.